My name is Mark Moss. I've been investing since the beginning. What do I mean by that? As soon as I graduated high school, I started buying bank-owned repossessed properties, fixing them up and flipping them. And so before I knew anything about work or business, I started into the real estate investing game. I've done a lot from flipping homes through developing from the ground up, residential, commercial, mixed use. 2008, I got completely wiped out. That sucked, and I had to kind of figure it out and rebuild. Part of what caught me off guard was I didn't know about the macroeconomic space. I didn't understand what the Fed, what the central banks were doing. I didn't understand debt cycles. I didn't understand bond markets and things like that. And so I spent the last now 12 years or so learning that. And so I create content and I make videos on YouTube, Mark Moss. I have a nationally syndicated radio show, full podcast, and I start my videos by saying I'm trying to change the way you think about money because almost everything you've learned is wrong. And so that's sort of my intro. And so I talk about macroeconomics, I talk about investing, written some books, and do some coaching, things like that. So I'm here to close out the event. I'm the keynote speaker, and I'm going to be talking about this global macroeconomic picture and what I think is coming next and how as real estate investors we could kind of play that market.
Very excited for that. Looking forward to it. And moving forward, what's your opinion on the market condition? What should investors be aware of?
So whenever you get asked a question like that, the first thing you always have to ask is like, what time frame? So you said over the next year or so. So we're in very uncertain times right now. More uncertain than any time that I can remember. Obviously, if we go back into history in the 70s or in the 40s, we can see similar periods. But it's really hard to say. Like, we have at least 12 known pinpricks waiting to pop this bubble, and there's probably another 100 that we don't know about. So there's certainly no shortage of doom and gloom headlines because we're teetering on a knife's edge. But at the same time, we've sort of entered in this period where the central banks of the world, not just the Federal Reserve, but the other central banks of the world are waiting with their finger on the trigger, ready to inject liquidity so that doesn't happen. And so we're seeing this teeter-totter effect. If I want to say what I think is probably going to happen over the next year is there's probably a good event where we have sort of a liquidity crisis. We probably see some sort of a massive disruption in the treasury market, probably dysfunction in the treasury market, causes some sort of stock crash. Because the Fed has overreacted over and over and over. And so they've raised rates too fast. We're probably going to cause this event, and they're going to overreact the other way, and they're going to probably dump 20 trillion in the market. So I think that sometime in the next year, there might be this sort of flash crash, if you will, followed by unprecedented money printing, which pushes asset prices way higher than they are right now. So timing is hard. I would say 2 years from now, probably even a year from now, rates are lower than they are today. And real estate prices are higher than they are today.
Last question, any advice or takeaway that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, something I've just been thinking about this morning, and I was just talking with actually some other people from your company here, is that for most of us, we already know what to do. And we use this like education gap as a reason we can procrastinate. So you probably already know what you should be doing, and you need to just be doing it. There's never such a thing as having all the information or having complete information. And so really it's about moving into the space. Maybe, depending on where you're at in your journey, there's a little bit of preparation, but then all clarity comes from the action, right? And so I guess that's maybe a piece that I would leave as something I've been thinking about today. You most likely already know what to do at this point. You need to just take the action. The action will then lead to clarity. And then through time, as you're doing those actions, you can continue to get education so you can continue to sharpen your aim and get better. But if you get all this education without doing the thing, you have no context to put the education on top of, right? So it's like if I want to teach you how to surf, we're here in Southern California. I'm a surfer from Southern California. If I want to teach you how to surf, I can explain it to you. But until you get your board in the water and paddle out there, how can I tell you anything? There's only so much I can tell you when we're standing on the sand. And so that's sort of an example. Get enough base information, move forward, take action. Action will start to lead to clarity, and then you can start to get some information that will help you along your journey.
Love that comparison. Thanks for your time, Mark.
Yeah, good.